Hey guys, what's up? Got a question for you. Have you ever thought about going to the dealership and trying to buy a car, but you weren't exactly sure what you were getting yourself into? So you were scared, you kind of went on the lot, and the salesman that came out to you just started talking really fast and trying to see what you wanted, see what you liked, and then started throwing numbers around. You didn't have a clue what they were talking about. What's WAC? What is exactly interest rate? What is buy rate? What is your credit score? What does it mean for you when you're trying to buy a car? What is the bottom dollar a dealership actually has in a car when they start trying to tell you, here's the best we can do for you? You guys ever wondered that? Today, we're going to go on a little trip. We're going to tell you exactly what to expect when you go and buy a car. We're going to tell you what to expect when they start talking to you about your deal. When they start telling you, well, the difference that we're going to loan you is going to be this. We'll give you X amount of money for your car. We will do this. What does the warranty paperwork end up looking like? What does any of that actually mean? If you've wondered that, continue with us on the video. What we're going to do today is we're going to take and jump in the 19 GT here that we've got on the channel. You guys know what it is. Premium package car. We've got the Ford Performance track handling kit. We've got the JLT oil catch can. We've got the red line tuning hood struts. We've got the resonator delete on the exhaust. Let's jump in the car. Let's go for a drive. We're gonna go see Joey over at his work, and we're gonna have him break down exactly what those numbers mean and what you can look at to expect when you go to buy your next car, so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable about the deal. Oh, door was locked. All right, guys, let's come on for a ride. All right, we'll catch you at the dealership. So, in about a year, we just look for you, just a roller Supra, blown up Supra, some sort of Supra. Yeah. And then that's swap. And then I think we'll be, oh, hey, Driven Daily fans.
What's up, guys?
Hey, so this is going to be a continue on video. So where we left off, I get it right, I don't English sometimes. Where we last left off was leaving to go talk to Joey. That was a snapper. That was a big snapper. We last left off leaving to go see Joey to discuss financing. You know, like we said, who doesn't sometimes think, maybe I should trade my car in, or maybe I need something new. Maybe you're not even trading a car in, maybe you're looking for your first car. Let's be educational here, guys. I don't think we've got a super educational video, do we?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we've got some build videos and some modification videos, but no real educational videos. So let's be educational. So, Joey, somebody walks in to your car lot.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, I'm looking to buy a car.
I usually say, hey, I'm looking to sell a car. What a coincidence. Works out for both of us.
So, what's usually your first go-to on your lot? Not as normal salesmen, because guys, there are salesmen that are super pushy. They instantly, I'm here to buy a car, so they just don't care. So they're just instantly, oh, you want to buy a car? Here, let me sell you a car. So Joey, what's your approach to selling somebody a car and making them feel comfortable enough to spend $20, $30, $40, $60, $70,000 with you as a car salesman?
Well, here's the deal. Especially in our town, there's a million car lots, and you can go anywhere and buy. And you know, if you know your numbers, you know what your car's worth, you're gonna get a good deal anywhere. But the difference is, after the sale, how they treat you, how they follow up with you. If they see you at Walmart, are they gonna say hi to you? When you come back in a year, are they gonna remember what you bought? Are they gonna remember you as a person? That's where I do things a lot differently. My brain works a lot differently than a lot of people's. I remember people buy their car, and I always have. So if I see you roll in a bright blue Dodge Journey that I sold you 2 years ago, guess what? I'm still going to remember you. So that's the difference, you know, when you come in to see me. We're going to have fun. And if you're there and you're a stickler and you got to stick up your butt, I'm probably not going to sell you a car. Because if you can't have fun with it, it's not worth doing. So my first line when you say I'm ready to buy a car, I'm going to say, well, I'm ready to sell a car. Which one do you want? And then when you say, I got to go talk to my wife and see if she'll let me buy it, I'm going to say, well, I got to go call my wife and see if she'll even let me sell it. I mean, we're gonna have fun. So if you can't come in and have fun, don't come see me. Sorry. I hate the boring deals where people are just blah and no sense of humor. But I will say, I have a ton of repeat customers, like this guy.
We're bleeping that.
Yeah. I've got some other customers that have bought, you know, 5, 6, 7 cars off of me in the past 5 years, and they come back to me because I always treat them right. And when I see them in public, I acknowledge their existence. You know, heck, a lot of them come hug me. You know that they were friends now. You know, and if you're coming in, you want to trade a car, you know. Obviously, you want to know what your car's worth and you want to get the best amount of money possible for your car.
So let's talk about that, Joey. Let's talk about what is a good way. I don't even know what the speed limit is on this road.
I think it's 150.
150. Got it. I don't know that he agrees. The escort will tell us. So, guys, how do you find out? Let's start with that. If you've got a car that you're wanting to trade in, or you've got your eyes set on a particular type of car, maybe it's an exact year, make, model, everything. You know exactly what you want to buy. How do you know you're getting a good deal? Let's start with that, Joey. How does one know if they're coming in to trade in a car? What's the best way for them to figure out what their car is worth?
Okay, so the easiest way for me to tell you that is stay off Kelley Blue Book. Kelley Blue Book is never accurate, and depending on what dealership you go to, not mine, we don't use Kelley Blue Book, but a lot of dealers pay money to Kelley Blue Book. And you know, when it says get the instant cash offer on Kelley Blue Book, a dealership has paid money for that advertising spot, and so they can actually go in and change it to where your car looks like it's worth less money. So if you Kelley Blue Book it at your computer at home, and then you go to the dealership and Kelley Blue Book it, and it's way off, they're going to give you some kind of BS. Well, we're giving $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book. I'm sure you've heard the commercials on the radio. Well, that's all because they're paying money to Kelley Blue Book to get those numbers down to where they can give you the $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book, except their Kelley Blue Book and your Kelley Blue Book are two different Kelley Blue Books.
Okay, so if we're not using KBB, which if you guys work for KBB, if you're watching, sorry.
Get your together.
We all know the truth. We all know. Kelley Blue Book's kind of was a spot to go and look at to get a rough idea.
Look, it's the Credit Karma of the car world.
Oh, now we're throwing out more names. Great.
I'm just saying.
Great.
It's not accurate, but it's a good tool.
So who do you recommend? What do you recommend going to?
So, you know, your local banks, and most of your banks are going to go by Black Book or NADA. So if you go to NADAguides.com, you can actually, you know, get a trade-in value on your car. But you need to be realistic on your trade-in. You know, it may say your trade-in's worth $20,000, but it doesn't take into account that you got a busted windshield, your air conditioning doesn't work, you need 4 new tires on your 4-door crew cab truck that's going to cost the dealership $1,000. You got to take that stuff into consideration. Yes, I would love to give you the top NADA price on your car every time, but if your car's a busted hunk of shit, it's kind of hard to do that. So don't get offended when I lowball you because it's going to cost me $3,000 to get your car around to sell it the next time and make a few bucks. You I'm not trying to get rich on all my deals, but I am trying to get rich eventually. So, the profit's not a dirty word. You got to make a little bit of money, or else it's not worth doing.
Guys, remember that any business at all, even in my locksmith business, with my 24-hour emergency roadside, guys, remember, yes, you can get it cheaper. You can make more money. You can get your car sold somewhere else at a different price. We'll tell you that here in just a second. Hang with me. My keys might cost a little bit more than what you can buy them on Amazon for, but just remember that there's always a reason. Always, always, always is there a reason that you can get stuff cheaper online. So just keep that in mind. Now,
that being said, Amazon is not going to cut a check to your son's baseball team. They're not going to buy that yearbook ad for the seniors. My dealership does that for every single school in our area. If someone comes in from any of the schools, and if anyone who's done this, please comment on this video. I promise you, we have never turned down a school asking for money for something for the kids, ever. We also do a lot of stuff for the children's division, for like the foster kids. Amazon and big car dealerships, they're not big on that stuff because it's corporate and they're out to make money. So they don't have the same budget availability as the smaller guys. So there's a reason why you pay for that. That money stays local, and I hate to say the shop local, stay local, but it is true. You go pay Robert, you may pay a little bit more, but guess what? In 4 months, if you have an issue and you lock your keys in your car and you call Robert at 2 in the morning, he's probably not going to charge you an outrageous fee if he just got to sell you some new keys or do something else for you, because it's that customer service aspect that comes along with it. You don't get that everywhere.
All right, Joey, so let's go back into the car sales. Let's go back into that.
Okay.
So I've come in and I've gone to KBB.
Okay.
I've also looked at what my car is worth, or what I owe on my car.
Okay.
So just for conversation's sake, for this video, I come to you and I want to trade my 2019 premium package GT Mustang.
Okay.
And I want to trade it into the lot.
Okay.
And I'm looking to upgrade.
Okay.
Guys, what do you upgrade a GT Mustang from? I mean, I already had heated and cooled leather seats. I already had that awesome 3rd gen Coyote with 460 horsepower. But some people like to upgrade. There's some different options. There's some MagnaRide. There's different sound for the in-car, for the stereo, the infotainment system, and all of that. So let's just say, for conversation's sake, I wanted to trade in my car and get something nicer. So I go to the bank and I say, okay, what's my payoff? And the bank asks me, what kind of payoff do you want? Do you want today's payoff? Do you want a 10-day payoff? What are you looking for? Joey, what are they talking about?
So on all of your loans, interest accrues daily. Depending on how long you've had your car, the interest daily changes. So when you first buy a new car, even with a good interest rate, if you bought a $30,000 car, $40,000 car, your daily interest is going to be, $5-6 a day in interest. So if you trade in your car to me today and you owe $30,000, well, I can't just cut a check for 30 grand and mail it to your bank, because it's going to take a few days to get there, and then it's going to sit in some stack of mail to get processed. So that may be another few days. So next thing you know, we're a week out and that interest has been accruing daily. So my $30,000 check is no longer enough to pay off your car.
Okay, so with that exact conversation, so I go into the car lot and I know what my car is worth.
Okay.
I know. I've done all the research, Joey. And You're
Hey.
not going to tell me nothing.
The average customer does 40 hours of research before they ever step foot on a car lot.
And I know. I've done my 40 hours of
That's
research,
right.
dang it. I've done it all. I know what my car's worth. I know what it's going to resell for. And I know how much I owe. So I want top dollar.
Okay.
So I come into you and I say, I want, I don't know. Let's make up a car, Joey. What car do I want? I'm gonna trade my 19 GT Premium Package Mustang in. What do I go for?
You want like a GT350.
Okay? Alright. So I've done my research on that 20, call it a 19. Why not? 2020s are slowly hitting the showroom, as we know. Some car lots are a little behind.
COVID slowed some stuff down too.
So let's just say the 2020 is not quite there yet. So I'm gonna be realistic, and I'm going for a 2019 GT350, and I've already done all the research. So you're not gonna pull one over on me. So I walk in with a number in my head, and I say I want to trade in my car. What do you give me? What's that process look like?
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is get your VIN number and your mileage.
You're gonna get my VIN number?
Your VIN number and your mileage.
You know what?
Yeah.
Y'all know what VIN stands for?
Yep. I know vehicle identification.
So it's Vehicle Identification Number.
Correct.
Got it. Cool.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get your VIN off your windshield. Jag. I'm gonna check your car over, see if it needs tires, see if the AC works. Depending on how much money we're talking, probably go take it for a little test drive.
Whoa.
You're gonna test drive mine before you buy it. I should get to test drive yours before I buy it.
We'll see about
Yeah.
that.
Then I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna sit at the computer. I'm probably gonna NADA it or use a Manheim market report, which is basically if you don't know what Manheim is a nationwide auction service. I can punch your VIN number into the computer system, and it'll tell me in the past 6 months exactly what every Mustang with your VIN decoded has sold for at auction in the last 6 months. And it
Okay.
also gives a vehicle rating. So, obviously if it's a 1, it's a pile of crap that's probably been rolled downhill. So it's probably sold for pretty cheap compared to, say, a 5, which is their top level, goes 1 to 5.
Okay.
And so, your car would probably be like a 4.5.
Okay.
It's got a few rock chips here and there. Apparently blown the tires off.
Would we do that?
Never. So, probably rate yours a 4.5.
Okay.
And then I would look at similar cars that are in a similar area. Obviously, if it's in Los Angeles, it may sell for a different amount than it would here in the Midwest. So, you take that into consideration.
You
And so-
mean in the Midwest, my Mustang ain't worth the same as somebody with a 4-wheel drive diesel?
Hey, it might be worth more. You never know.
Never know. We gonna learn today.
Yeah. So, and that market report just kind of gives us a starting number. It's not necessarily set in stone, but it's hard as a dealership normally, which right now times are a little different, but it's hard to normally trade and give you more than I could go to the auction and buy one for tomorrow. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
that's fair. That's
You know,
fair.
And like a Mustang GT is obviously different than a Ford Focus. I can have 10 Focuses tomorrow. Having a, blue blackout edition GT premium car, probably a little harder to come across.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So,
I'll give you that.
we're willing to cough up to get the better stuff. You've seen that.
So okay, we're gonna use fake numbers here, guys. Obviously, my 19, I didn't only owe 15, but for the sake of argument, we're just gonna make easy numbers to round and do all that with it. So Joey, the bank told me that I only owe $15,000.
Okay. So even though the bank told you this, I'm going to ask you who you finance with.
Yep.
I'm going to get your social security number.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
That is, but in order for me to get the exact 10-day payoff from the bank, they're going to want your social security number or account number, which 9 times out of 10, people don't know their account number. Social security number is easier. So I'm going to call the bank. I'm going to get your 10-day payoff. And then we're going to work some numbers from there. Also, don't come into the dealership and try and beat me down on my price of my car.
Good catch. Good catch. Way to be PC.
Yeah. Try and beat me down on the price of my car. And then expect me to give over, you know, retail or over trade-in allowance for your car. Like, if I'm going to have to give more for your car, you're going to have to give me what I'm asking for mine.
Okay, that's fair.
Right?
So, okay.
And
so
at the end of the day, it's all about the difference. What you're financing with the bank.
Okay, so the bank told me that I owe 15.
All right, so the bank told you you owe 15.
Yep.
Let's say for easy numbers, your car books out for 30 grand.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Which it books out for more, but let's just, for easy numbers, 30 grand.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get out of that.
Yeah, that's a bad lane. So that means you have $15,000 worth of equity in your car. So that means if my truck was,
Truck.
well, whatever you're buying, the GT350.
I was gonna say we're in fantasy land.
That's
We're buying
right.
a GT350.
All right, so let's say the GT350 was 45 grand, which obviously we all know a new one is considerably more than that. So let's say it's 45 grand.
Okay.
So you owe 15 on your car.
Yep.
But it's worth 30.
Yep.
So that 15 grand of equity that you have
Yep.
would pay down the new car from 45 to 30 grand.
Okay.
So you would pay 30 grand or finance 30 grand,
I like the sound of that.
right?
I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we're talking.
But let's say on the flip side of that,
Oh, here we go.
we got to do the flip side, bro. So let's say, for instance, the bank said that you owed 30,
Okay.
but your car only booked out for 25.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's 5 grand of negative equity.
Well, that doesn't
is-
matter. You done told me you were going to pay my car off.
And,
so
I will call the bank and I will pay your car off. But I'm going to have to add that 5 grand of negative equity
hang on.
to the backside of the loan.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
It's hard math for a lot of people.
You told me that you were going to give me $25,000 for my car and pay it off.
Yeah, but you owe 30.
But not my problem.
That's fair. And we get that from time to time. For the people who don't math, I'm going to give you 25 grand for your car. So unless you've got $5,000 cash to go with that, you're going to have to add that 5 grand on top of your next loan.
Well, that
It sucks, but that's
Okay. All
such
right.
is life, and that's what happens when people trade too soon. The average trade cycle for most people is about 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And most auto loans are set up to where, you generally pay your interest a little more up front. As I was talking, it goes down as you go through the loan. Well, for the first year, you're basically paying interest on your car for the most part. So after your second year, you're starting to pay down on your principal. But if you're trying to trade,
So what you're telling me is this $45,000 2019, ignore that for right now. This $45,000
GT350
GT350
is going to
that
cost
I'm wanting.
you 50 grand to finance.
Well, that sounds like crap.
It's the harsh
But-
world we live in.
So it is. So, okay. So let me get this straight. So I've come in. KBB tells me that my car's worth $35,000.
Okay.
And you're only, we'll go back to the original where I'm in the green.
Where you're the good
where
one.
I'm the good guy. So KBB done told me that my car's worth $35,000. So you're only going to give me 30?
Yeah. I mean, if that's the way it books out.
Well, but you're going to turn around and you're going to sell the car for 39. So why shouldn't I get 35? Why do you get to make $9,000 profit on me?
So I will say, in my 5 years of selling cars, I have never made a $9,000 profit on anyone, ever. The average used car markup is around $2,000. Mind you, we have advertising expenses. We have to pay the salesman. We have a building to keep open. If your transmission goes out 3 months down the road, we'd like to have a little bit of money to help you with that. It's a used car. There is no warranty unless you buy an extended warranty, which I highly recommend. But, you know, if you beat me up on my price and I'm giving you the car for next to nothing, you can't call me if something stupid happens, like if the AC goes out. That's not something that I knew was going to happen. And rest assured, if I knew it was going to happen, I would have never sold you the car to start with. But stuff does happen from time to time. And that's why we like to have a little cushion to where if something does happen, we can help you. A lot of dealerships, I've had friends that bought cars at dealerships, and the same day the transmission go out, and then call the dealership, and the dealership say, sorry about your luck.
Gotta love them taillight warranties.
That's right. So that's why I work where I work, and I've personally bought, I looked it up the other day, 20 cars from my own dealership. I did purchase 6 of them before I went to work there. My now boss.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Guys, he says 20, but we did flip cars for a little while.
Yeah,
So we bought several. So,
but hey, I had to license and register and insure every single one of them.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I didn't get cut any kind of special deals where they'd flip titles. No, I had to license and insure and register every
all of
one
our
them.
side businesses are all 100% legit, guys.
Yeah.
If you're ever going to buy to flip a car, do the right thing.
Yeah, don't try and jump the title. It'll always bite you in the...
We've got one more part of this whole deal, Joey.
All right.
So me and you have agreed upon said price. And we're going back to the original. I owed 15, you're going to give me 30, the car's 45, so now it's $30,000.
You're financing 30 grand. Okay.
Okay, so I'm financing $30,000.
Okay.
What's the next step? Let's just say you're going to do this through the dealer. You're not bringing in your own financing.
And I'll touch on that for just a second. So most people who bring their own financing, apart from like credit unions, which are amazing, and if you have a credit union that you use, by all means, use them. They treat their customers and take care of them to the max.
100%.
But if you're going to your local bank, they're not really set up to do auto loans. Yes, they will do an auto loan, but the rate is going to be higher than a normal car dealership can get you, and the term is not going to be nearly as long.
On average, guys.
On average. I mean, I'm saying there's some that'll do it and some that won't, but on average, it's just, they're not set up that way. Because you think if they give a loan for 30 grand,
Yep.
and they give you a 3% rate.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
Sweet, I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So, but they're only going to finance it for 60 months.
Ooh.
Correct. So that payment goes up a little bit, but they're trying to collect their interest first. But 30 grand on 3%, they're only going to make like a couple grand over the next 5 years off of you.
Yeah.
It's not really worth it for them for their time invested.
Okay, so fine. We're gonna let the dealership do it.
Okay.
So where am I going in the dealership now that you've done passed me off? Who are you passing me off to?
I'm going to pass you off to, well, I'm not. A Big Lot will pass you off to a finance director.
Okay.
The finance director...
Is that F&I guy here?
The F&I guy. They get paid a flat rate per deal, which usually isn't much money. So if you go into a car dealership and buy a $60,000 Tundra and you're writing a check, the guy that does your paperwork is probably making like $50. So not a lot of money. Granted, not a lot of work on his end to have you just sign some papers. But he gets paid through the bank mostly. So if you go into him and he tells you, okay, Mr. Rich, we're going to finance you on 30 grand. You have great credit.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you have excellent credit. So
okay, cool.
We were able to get such and such bank to give you a 4% rate on this $30,000 loan. Okay. Now, 4% rate sounds pretty low to the average person.
Hang on. Let's be real. 4%.
That's a pretty low rate.
It's a pretty low rate right now.
Yeah.
The people that know rates, 4% really is not a bad. It's not a bad rate.
But there are banks out there right now doing it at 2.5 to 2.9, and if you have excellent credit and you're in an equity position in your car, which makes a big difference. If your car books out for 45 and you're trying to finance that 50, the bank's gonna give you a little penalty. That 4% might turn into 6%. because they're having to give you above book value for your car.
Okay, that makes sense.
Correct? You got to make it worth their while.
Right.
So we got you down to 4%. Now, in reality, the bank might have said, okay, buy rate, we will give this guy 2.5%. So that extra 1.5% to the 4% rate is how the finance guy makes his money.
Well, now hang on a second. Hang on. So if the bank said that they would give it to me at 2.5%, why did that guy turn around
And say 4?
and say 4?
Because at that 4%, he gets a kickback from the bank for selling the extra interest rate. So the bank makes more money. So obviously on something that low, you know, at a 4% rate, the bank might have made an extra $600 over the life of the loan.
Okay.
Okay? Well,
Sorry guys if it's getting noisy. This road is not the greatest.
the finance guy would probably get like a $250 or $300 kickback from the bank for selling you on the extra interest.
Okay.
Okay? So, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, and that's how they feed their families. I mean, it's a time-consuming deal. Also, while you're in that office, he's going to try and sell you a warranty. He's going to try and sell you gap coverage. And if he's really good, he's going to try and sell you all the paint protectant warranty and the Scotch Guard for your seats and all that stuff. So all the extras that he tells you about, that's where he makes his money. So he might go from making a couple $100 on the financing to making $1,000 off of you by the time you walk out. Now, I'm not saying don't buy the warranty, because I'm a firm believer in the warranties if they're good warranties. I'm also a firm believer in gap coverage if you're buying a newer car, unless you're in a really good equity position. You know, so, you know, this car books out for 45, you're only paying 30, you probably don't need gap coverage, because if you drive it off the lot and wreck it, the bank's going to pay it off. On the flip side of that, if you're financing the 50, you're already leaving the lot upside down. So if you wreck it, the bank's probably not going to give you that 50 grand.
Why am I leaving upside down? Don't I want to be right side up?
You do.
So why are you making me upside down?
You got to put that 5 grand cash down to make up the difference.
Oh, you're talking that way.
Yeah.
I thought you were meaning like don't leave the rubber down. I was confused as could be.
So yeah, so that's how that guy makes his money. And you know, it's not a bad thing. Just, you know, if you know what your credit score is, go out there and see, you know, Google and see what kind of rate you think you could get. If you're over a 740 plus credit score, you're considered a prime customer. So, you know, you should get one of the higher rates. Obviously, the higher the rate, or the higher your score, the better the rate. If you're a 600, you know, don't come in expecting to get a 5% rate. You're probably going to get a rate in the teens. And that's not being mean, but a 600 credit score is very difficult to buy a $30,000 car. That's just the harsh reality of it.
Well, all right. Well, so, all right, guys. So we're going to finish up this video. This section of the video, we're already at 33.5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and finish up the video there. I hope you guys found this video informative. Yes, we joked around a lot, whatever, but know what you're getting yourself into. Find somebody that's selling you a car that doesn't just, okay, you want to buy a car and it's just blah. At the end of the day, a car is a very, very, very big purchase for most people. These newer cars are 30 grand for an alright car that isn't really much. You know, and 30 grand anymore on a car loan is a big deal. I mean, let's be real, it's a big deal. So take it seriously. Make sure that whoever you're buying from is taking you seriously.
Read their Google reviews. I promise, if you read our, you know, go to Southern Hills Auto Plaza on Google and type in look at our reviews. There may be a few bad reviews. You're going to get that with every single business, but the majority is going to be 5-star reviews from customers that have bought multiple vehicles from us. Check their Facebook page. If they don't have a Facebook page and they're not getting reviews, unless it's a good old boy dealership that sells 3 or 4 cars at a time, you know, if you're buying from a lot that's got 100 cars, they probably need a Facebook page and someone should be advertising on it. And then you would have even more reviews. Ask your friends and family who they've bought for, what the service center's like if they've bought, you know, a new, you know, Dodge or whatever. You know, ask them how the service center is, because there's a lot to be said for that as well. And cars are the second biggest investment you'll ever make after a house. The only problem is usually houses appreciate in value where cars depreciate. So, you know, be informed. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to comment on this video. Reach out to me on Facebook. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Whether you are across the world or in my hometown, I will give you the best advice I can, and I will be 100% honest with you, whether you buy from me or not.
All right, so we're gonna close this video out. Who wants a rip? You want a rip?
I want to rip.
You want a rip? All right, let's let him hear it.
Hey, also, guess this car in the comments.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear this, but let's just see what happens here. By the way, guys, that was way faster than we conversed, so it's a good thing the camera's facing this way and not that way. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.